What's up, YouTube? Joseph here, and deck profile time. The choice of deck profile, of course, this time is familiars. More so, they're charmers as well. Pretty much with all the new support that has come out for this deck, I pretty much decided to build a deck. The deck is not fully complete because I don't have multiples of the familiar monsters themselves. But in this case point, I will talk about the familiar monsters themselves. Wind, water, fire, earth, dark, and light. Each of the charmers represent one element. They each have a corresponding monster from that element or attribute. And the charmers, when they're flipped face up, they take a monster of the attribute and put it in your possession. But they have to remain face up on the field while that happens. Their familiar possessed form. You send the charmer and a monster of the attribute to the graveyard, such as summon the familiar monster from your hand or deck to the field. The only charmer who does not have familiar is Lina, the light charmer, because it's not out yet. But Hida, the fire, Ira, the water, Winnie, the wind, Usa, the earth, and Dirk, the dark charmer, all have familiar forms. Melina, the temporal magician, is just a substitute card right now for the fact that Lena doesn't have her charmer out. But case in point, this deck pretty much beat down. In most cases that I've seen online, it's technically just elemental beatdown. Kind of gives you no sense of how the game used to be, where pretty much most people just build a deck off the attribute. Also, in case of point of the chaos archetype, where they build a deck off of light and dark. That still can do that in some sense. There are a lot of decks now in the game where you can just build a deck off an attribute. Don't care how bad the monsters are. But yes, just case in point. This pretty much is the first half of the deck that I just went through, which are the charmer monsters themselves. In accordance to these lovely ladies and guy, once I get them off the board, we have their spiritual beast monsters. For those who don't know their corresponding monsters, they're Foxfire, Airmole and Nefariousness, Gigo, Petite Dragon, Petite Angel, Happy Lover, and Mega Bat. In the TCG, and from what I know in the LCG, we only have 3 of the 6 monsters in newer form. Nefarious Archfiend, Eater of Nefariousness, Inari Fire, and Gigabyte. Gigabyte is the special summoner. In terms, this is your Mystic Tomato. Whenever a monster you control, whenever this card is destroyed by a battle or card effect, special summon a monster with 1500 attack and 200 defense exact from your deck to the field. An Fire says when it's destroyed by a card effect, during your next standby phase, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. And when Archfiend is in your graveyard, destroy one card on your side of the field during your opponent's end phase. Then special summon this card from your graveyard. In a sense, these 3 work really well together in the deck, and how the deck itself is strategized out. Because you can destroy either 2 of these with this. This can come back. This special summons itself during your standby. This searches for either one of these, because it cannot search for itself. Also, a case in point, their effect. Then you can only control one of each face up on the field at a time. Then each of these can be special summoned by a card special summon from your hand if you control a spellcaster type monster, which the charmers and the familiars are by themselves. So it's a really good setup. I do apologize for the noise. So that's the monsters. Next we're going on to the spells. Triple Magical Dimension. I figured, why not? This is a deck full of spellcasters, so why not have one of the relatively most broke spellcaster spells in the deck? No, I don't have Secret Village, although that would be nice. I don't. Next is MST to follow up. In terms of when you need back row destruction, you're gonna get back row destruction. 2 Supply Squad, helping out with the fact that a lot of stuff in this deck is gonna be destroyed, especially your monsters. So why not benefit from that as well? That's what Supply Squad helps with, destroying your monsters to get you more cards. To help you not only thin out your deck, but also to help you with hand. Raigeki, Dark Hole, and Book of Moon are just your stable spells. Alright, on to traps. We're going to talk about Unpossessed. Charm monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. If you control a familiar possessed monster you control attacks an opponent's monster during damage calculation only, they gain 800 attack points. If a monster you control is destroyed by a battle or a card effect, you can special summon one spellcaster type monster with 1500 defense from your deck in face-up attack position or face-down defense position. You only use this effect of Unpossessed once a turn. So, your familiar monsters become 2650 beaters. Your charmers can't be destroyed by battle. And on top of that, you can special summon them from your graveyard. All in this one card. This card pretty much sets up the entire deck. You let your monsters float away. That's pretty much what this card does. It's funny that they got it in the form of a trap card and not a monster or a spell. But hey, no one's complaining. The fact that it gives them more playability in the sense of their new monsters also giving them playability as well. Next, we have the 2 wind-up... For follow up the traps, we have 2 Wiretap. This is to help out with Skill Drain. There are variants of this deck that do run Skill Drain, just because of the fact that most of them don't run Charmer. The Charmers themselves, they just run Familiar Possessed, and just turns their Familiar Possessed monsters into beaters, and you just search for each other. This is just to help out any of those straggler traps or straggler decks that do run traps that possibly get in the way. 1 Warning, 1 Dark Bribe, 1 Fiendish Chain, 1 Compulse, and 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. Pretty much just one of traps that I just have laying around, and because I don't have most of the other deck that I need, I just throw them in here. Alright, so that's pretty much the main deck portion of the video. I want to go into the extra deck. Extra deck is pretty simple. With the exception of 1 card, I don't have any extra deck. The rest of the extra deck is pretty simple. We start off with Downing Magician because the spellcaster archetype makes it accessible. And there are rank 3s in here, so I can put her on top of someone to go into it. 1 Stillsworn Roach helps with the level 5 or higher decks and level 5 monster decks that bring decks with level 5 or higher monsters that are excessively brung out. Stillsworn Roach can get rid of them. Castell helps you also get rid of monsters as well. This is supposed to be Gem-Knight Pearl. I just realized today I don't have Gem-Knight Pearl, but Gem-Knight helps in the sense of just being one really big beater. Or it can be a second Direwolf, who with Air Mullet and Inari Fire and Gigabyte, this card pretty much sets off a lot of stuff. I know you can't destroy them because... I know you can't destroy Inari Fire and Gigabyte because they're not Beast. But Archfiend Meter is, and popping him off to have him be in the graveyard instead of for your opponent's in phase is wonderful, and I've done it so many times on Death Pro. Next is Gaga Cowboy. We have Maestroke, Tempo. Of course, we're floating. We're dealing with those backgrounds, so our card comes really well into play. Lemier's just in here, just in case your monsters get banished off, and you need to retrieve them. Zenmain is just here to float. Fortune Tomb's in here for the same reason as the whole aspect of flow and recovery. So you can recover your life if need be, or you can recover your Charmers to put it back in the deck. Crazy Box is for the skill drain matchup, and Ragnar Zero is here for the Okie Doke. In case you run into decks or someone that wants to just spam big monsters. Really. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Just in case they want to just spam big monsters. And that is not me, that is you in the background. Alright, so that's pretty much the deck profile before I prolong this. So, like, comment, sub, and if you guys have any questions or stuff, just leave them below in the comment section, and follow me on Facebook. And until next time, guys, this is Dark Extreme signing out.